Well. Run heard the second. You better not say third. We are here on the Kara Dangerous Talk YouTube channel. Finally, it is August the 7th. Yes, it's been a long time, Ron. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. It's been long and short because summer is really flying. It's flying by.
Man, did you know I read somewhere that scientists said that the earth is spinning faster and that we lost like a couple of milliseconds on our day. So days are actually shorter. It's not just in our minds now because we're older.
Okay, good. I'm glad to be confirmed. Man, I was kind of paranoid about that, but it makes sense to me because I thought it was just Sunday yesterday.
Boy,
And
I'm
now,
telling you, I'm telling you, the week just went by so fast. On Thursday, I thought it was Tuesday.
yeah, I'll get confused, man. It's just crazy. Cause you know how I have phone call, people call me. I thought I'm gonna return this call about a day or two. It'll be 2 weeks later. I said, geez, time is getting away, if that's a thing really. But I think they also doing that CERN thing over in
Yeah,
Europe. It's messing with like time portals and vortexes.
that's crazy, Ron.
Yeah,
What do
because
you
people seeing
find out about
UFOs and
these
stuff.
things? What do you find out
I
about
don't
these
know, man.
things?
It's everywhere. But a lot of people seeing stuff moving. They think they're stars, UFOs. They don't know what it is. And there's a lot of stuff gonna be happening before the end of the year. I mean, you got this, other stuff going on. Like they're trying to really shut down the whole world right now again.
Ron, you scaring me because last time, you told me about the Mercury retrograde, and I'm telling you that Mercury retrograde, people joke about it, but it was crazy. You said that it makes people have bad communication, and I'm telling you, even when I tried to reach out to you, sometimes you're like, Kara, what are you talking about? And then I'm like, oh yeah, Ron, you're right. Just bad communication. That whole
Yeah.
Mercury retrograde, just
Yeah, but
crazy.
it's some other stuff going on. Like you look at people that's out of their element. I think what's been the last 2 years, people fears and anxieties have been very much amplified.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody know what's coming next. I mean, it's people on edge. You just can't look at a person and know what a person's going through right now. So I think that we all can be a little bit more kinder and patient and loving and lovable towards others as well as ourselves. Let's take a little time, figure this stuff out, and move accordingly if you can.
You know what? And talking about the Mercury retrograde, I think I had a conversation with you and somebody else I know in my personal life about how powerful the moon is and how the moon has the power to pull the ocean. Now,
Yeah.
if we consist of mostly water in our bodies, what the hell do people think it does to us? The fact that people
Mhm.
don't pay more attention to understanding the moon and what it does is insane.
Well, most people don't care. They're more concerned about the Cowboys going to the Super Bowl this year, or what the Lakers going to do about Russell Westbrook and all this other stuff. I mean, people are not concerned about the things that really are important. People value systems are really screwed up right now, as in general, not as individuals. Now you got people that care, but as a whole, people are really screwed up right now. What their priorities should be.
Yes. And we want to thank everybody watching. We got somebody that's in the chat said they from Chicago. Thank you so very much.
Chicago.
Thank you. Thank you, Law Beats. Look, we respect you too. We appreciate it. Look, Ron, I don't know what's going on with you, but you seem low energy, baby. But we ain't been together in so long. It's time to get hype, baby.
Reunited, and it feels so good. Yeah.
Look, come on, baby. Get you something to drink or soda or some caffeine, some Mountain Dew. But look, we're gonna have to dance. Let me bring that man out real quick.
Bitch on big dude. She's bitch on big dude. She's
That big boy summer right there. I like it. I love it. He was at the swim stick, and he took up the whole pool. Man.
I knew that'd get your blood flowing right there, that brother right there. Yes. Look, well, me and Ron got some trending topics for you coming your way, and we got to catch up because, like I said, I haven't been around, so I'm gonna take it back to a couple of weeks and some stuff that I missed in the news that we have got to discuss. But first, you guys know what we got to do. We got to play that intro because it ain't right unless we show y'all where we at. Love it when you talk that talk. Ooh, you know what? Ooh, you know what? There he is, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. We back up in the house.
I feel so much better after that theme song. Yeah.
Oh,
Love the
that's
music.
great. The
Yeah.
gift that just keeps on giving my theme song. That is wonderful. You know what, Rod? Like you said, things are just so crazy out here. But you got a chance to have a little fun this past weekend, right? You
Yeah, I did actually. Yeah, Judge Joe Brown, Sam Brown downtown. Yeah, the judge. Yeah, we had saw he was at Chuckles Comedy Club. I wasn't expecting to see him. I was there to support a friend. He's a comedian named Marlon from the ATL. He's a very funny guy, and he was the opening act for Brandon T. Jackson. You know, who I found out was also a pretty funny guy. And you had him on your show, a very
yes, I did.
revealing show. I mean, he was very like vulnerable and honest. So it was interesting to see him in person. I didn't know he was that short though, but you know, he got a big personality and a good heart. Now he's a really a people person. He's not pretentious or anything like that. He's the son of a preacher man, Bishop Wayne Jackson out of Detroit.
I'm a
But
preacher man.
yeah, but he's a good guy. I like his energy. He's not, you know, and, you know, it's interesting. I had no idea that he was originally cast in Coming to America as Eddie's son. Eddie wanted him and he turned it down.
Wow.
So I got to ask him about that. I actually probably be interviewing some time today, but I got to ask him about, you know, why you do that. Because he was in a, you know, they had a Beverly Hills Cop pilot that they filmed back in 2012 or 2013. He was playing Eddie Murphy's son in that, and that never came out. It was done through CBS. So that'd been interesting. But I mean, Brandon, like, if he didn't walk away from Hollywood, he'd probably be up there with Michael B. Jordan right now. Because you look at some of the films he did, not only just like the hood classes like Lottery or Roll Bounce or Big Mama's part, you know, Big Mama's like Father Like Son with Martin Lawrence, but he did Tropic Thunder, which is a great movie. And the fact that he did it at a young age, he was up there with, you know, Tom Cruise and Ben Stiller and Robert Downey Jr. and Jack Black. He was already there and doing classic stuff, and he walked away from it. It was interesting.
Yeah, he did. And in that interview I did, he explained perfectly the reason that he walked away and how when he wore that dress, he just felt like his world was turned inside out. You know, all the conspiracy theories about black men wearing dresses in movies, and then that's how they reach a higher rank in Hollywood.
Exactly.
But it's to defeminize them, to feminize them. Demasculize them, whatever that word is. I can't get it together. But
feminize.
He said it just totally messed up his world. And I mean, some people saw it as he could have kept climbing, but for him, you know, he had to slow down, kind of get back to raising his kids and growing himself. And now he's back out here telling comedy, and you saw him. So he's a good dude, whether you agree with his politics or, you know, what he feels he believes in or whatnot. But very good interview though, Ron. Very good interview.
Yeah, I enjoy. You got a lot of great classic stuff that needs to be, you know, listened to and watched. Starting now, actually, people should go in your archives, and also you got a podcast you're doing to correct as well too.
Yeah, for the Ebony Podcast Network. So those who want to listen to the show and not necessarily see our face all the time, you can listen to the audio episodes on the Ebony Podcast Network, also on Spotify as well. But you know what, Ron? It's been a lot of crazy things being said, but sometimes I feel like it's important. We always talk about words are important, but questions are important. And some questions are just better left unasked. Do you know what I'm telling you, brother? Just don't even, I wouldn't even put some questions, you don't even need to put yourself in that position because you don't know what people are going to say. And let me give you an example, Ron, of what I mean.
You guys act black for $500.
Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom of me.
Now, see, I don't know how to feel about that, man. I don't know. I mean, come on. What you trying to say? What she trying to hit us with a little Negro spirit or trying to you going around asking white folks how to act black? You know, you gotta be careful with that.
But you know, like Du Bois, Dr. W.E.B. Du Bois said the greatest gift from the Negro was just the sorrow songs, the spirituals. So I mean, that's the foundation. We are the foundation of America's cultural identity as well as economic power. And we have yet to get the credit for it. A lot of us, you know, don't want to deal with that. But you know how I was thinking about how Busta Rhymes, them saying that hip hop was born in the Caribbean. I said, if hip hop was born in the Caribbean, then where's your version of James Brown and Aretha Franklin and Marvin Gaye?
Yeah, Busta Rhymes was whack for that. I heard that too. Yeah, something
They ain't
going
come from no
on.
Caribbean like that. No.
Right. Come on, give me a break. Everybody want to make up some. But you
I
know,
like Buster though, but I just don't. No.
Buster Bust. I like them too, but let's not get crazy.
Yeah,
But
it's not get
I'm
crazy.
glad you brought up rap because you know, sometimes people catch on a little later than others, and we try not to judge, but sometimes you're like, how can't people get this? And but I have to say, when it comes to one of the biggest hip hop stars right now, and I'm talking one of the babies, not the baby this time, but Little Baby,
Little
he
Baby.
has grown up a lot, and you know, you see this in his interviews. But I want to let's take a closer look to see how Little Baby feels about using the N word in his songs, because you know they like every other word in a lot of these rapper songs. So if the biggest superstar is talking about it, we got to hear what he has to say. Here we go.
I don't even like saying nigga in my song. If you catch it, I say hitter now. My shows be so white when I say nigga and they say nigga, that shit do something to me. Like, for real. Like, I got the whole crowd saying nigga to me. I start saying hitter. Like, I just be saying hitter. I don't be saying nigga like that. You know, I'm a say it because that's my vocabulary, but for the most part, like, I try to take that out. Because now, when I'm in the booth and I'm rapping, I got to think about my fans who I'm rapping to.
Okay, so he's saying now, Little Baby saying he's learned that, you know, when you say the N word in your song, it's gonna be people who don't look like you, who aren't in your race, who not your color, that's gonna be repeating those words back to your face. Bro, why are you looking like that?
It's just I commend him for that. I mean, I don't have no problem. He don't even have tattoos. He said he's against having tattoos, I think. So I think he's like, you know, he's a different guy. He got to move the way he's gonna move. And I applaud him for staying true to himself, to their own self, be true. But I'm also thinking about what Beyonce recently had to took out the word spaz. They thought it was a slang.
That was crazy to me.
It's too much. Like,
right.
You even think about Michael Jackson with that they don't really care about us song. He had Jew me, sue me, kike, and all that. We are the least protected class of people on the planet. When it comes to people just taking us and exploiting us, Black people are the least protected. Cause I can remember when Puffy, when we did All About the Benjamins, and then stacked chips like Hebrews, and Clyde Davis, his mentor, got mad and they took that out. I'm saying, but what about y'all saying, see, I'm looking at what's going on with Black media right now. See Dolores Tucker. I love Tupac, and he is lyrical. Y'all retarded. Y'all tone deaf. You don't think Tupac was and he is lyrical. But see, Dolores Tucker was right. Dr. Bill Cosby was right. Because look what we got now. There is nothing we can look at on TV with your whole family while them doing some really over-the-top, homoerotic, whatever sexual things. 30-some years ago, you had the Cosby Show, you had Different World. You had shows, you had Black shows that they didn't really focus on people's sexuality or really go into that area. But now, every Black show on TV got to have their part of it.
Ron, you ain't lying, because I was just watching BET's College Hill, and it wasn't the best show, and I didn't watch it in the past, but it's got Ray J on there, it's got Nene Leakes, who's very funny, it's got India Love and some other girl and Big Frida, and and then just coincidentally, I was on my phone and a picture of the Different World cast popped up. And I said to myself, wow, it's amazing how we went from having a show like The Different World, where we actually see actors portraying Black HBCU students, you know, coming from different walks of life, to the point now we have to rely on a reality show that is filled with celebrities making a mockery. Actually, I mean, most of them try to take it serious, but you know, it's a shame that we can't really have those. It just always got to be a reality show. It can't be a program like you saying, you know, a show like the Cosby's or Different World. And it was plenty others, even on Living Single. You know, back in that time, you saw the actors wear those HBCU shirts or just college shirts to represent. And now we really don't have that. And when I look at social media and I see these teenagers and these children, they talk with attitude, like they're all trying to act like they're some housewife on the TV. I saw a little boy the other day. He went viral because one of the big blogs posted his content, but then in his story, he replied to the people who were saying something negative to him, and he was all popping his neck and like, y'all don't know me and y'all mama didn't raise y'all, and you know, basically doing his little Nene Leak stuff, you know, with the neck rolls. And I'm just thinking to myself, okay, that stuff is all cute and comedic and stuff, but when our children are, that's all they are taking in, the music is sexual, the TV sexual, it's just sex. I mean, I feel like when I grew up, sometimes there were only certain channels that was gonna have all this sexual content on, you know, the channels that your parents had to, you know, put a little extra money on, like Cinemax or something, Stars, or you know, whatever. But now it's like the kids could just go online, they can look up porn before you even talk to your children about sex. They already done seen a penis and a vagina, so you might as well just forget it. You got to have that conversation with them before the world teaches them what everything is, and then they teach them wrong. But just hearing what you said, it just is. I don't even know how we can get ourselves back in a good place with this. It's really just gone too far.
It starts with the artists like Lil Baby taking a stand. You know, it's problematic. I mean, that word in itself is problematic for a lot of people, but it means, like KRS-One does a great job of defining what that word really means from his perspective. He provides historical sources and stuff like that. And I think a word shouldn't have that much power to begin with. But then again, if you look at hip hop and rap, they're casting spells. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're speaking death into the community. You sowing seeds of death and destruction into your own community. I can't name any group on the planet that have songs that discourage their women the way that rappers do. And you know they targeting black women because they wouldn't allow them to say all those things if it wasn't targeted towards black women.
Ron,
so
you
we got to
know,
at least protect the group of people when it comes to artistic exploitation.
Yes, we are. And it was a rapper, xxxtention. Hope I said his name right.
Yeah, something like that.
But I watched a documentary on him. I believe it was on Netflix. It might have been Hulu, but if you want to watch it, just Google it. But at first, you know, I didn't like the kid that much when he was alive. You know, he got shot down in Florida. Somebody tried to rob him while he was in his car.
Yeah.
And this guy, he battled all these demons. He fought people on the street, and but kids loved him because he talked about the depression and anxiety and how to get through it. And, you know, I was trying to be the devil's advocate and learn more about him because some of his music was okay. It was different. It was just like alternative hip hop. He put a little rock into it. So I was like, okay, this kid's kind of different. But in one of his posts, he said that when he went in the studio, they were very specific about making sure that the music was on the right frequency. Right. And he said that they use frequencies to get things in people's minds subconsciously. And so, you know, this is and when I read about it, this is one of the controversial videos he made, and he was known for making other videos, and, you know, people think it was a plot for him to die and all this when you get deeper into it. But it's just amazing how we always go back to the devil being over music and how they can use, but you can use anything for the bad. You know, God can mean stuff for your good, but evil can mean it for your bad. You know, we can always, it's kind of like, you know, it's a thin line between that sometimes. And I think we just need to make our children aware of it, that music can play off your emotions. If you're already emotional and you go out here and you seek this downtrodden music, it's just like alcohol. You know, if you know, if you already said alcohol is a suppressant, right? So it's gonna make you feel, you know, down if that's where you want to go. So we gotta pay more attention to what we're taking in.
You know, it's interesting you brought up xxxtention, whatever his name is. I didn't know he existed till he got killed back in July of I think it was 2018, and I started listening to his music. The guy was very talented. He reminded me of like a Kurt Cobain or Bob Dylan.
Right.
But his stuff is depressing to listen to. Like, he was on
Oh my God.
I get depressed. I couldn't listen to all this stuff. I'd be crying. Ain't gonna lie, I was crying on some of that stuff. Like, this is crazy. But he did a song about a girl that was a fan. I think she was from Cleveland or Ohio or somewhere like that.
I know what you're talking about.
She killed herself allegedly, but that song was powerful.
That song is a nice song.
Yeah, but she lives on forever in that song, even though she died young. And I mean, the man had this very I don't think he was a tragedy though, because he used his gift to communicate with a generation that's been neglected or marginalized or made invisible. So he was a voice of a generation. And I always say he was the Tupac, and people got mad because, like, you look at basketball, you compare everybody to Jordan for better or for worse. Like, come to rap, I compare everybody to Tupac for better or for worse, because he was lyrical. I don't care what nobody say. But you look at the fact that XXX was signed to Empire Records like King Von and Young Dolph. And I think they both all three were signed, if I'm not mistaken, right? Well, they signed to Empire, had a deal with Empire or something like that.
I feel like you said that before, but I can't be.
And then the brother
on
from
that.
Dallas, the King Von and Young Dolph and XX. I think they all was signed to Empire at one point.
I feel like that's
and then
true.
Mo 3 too, I think.
He was signed with Little Bootsy in some kind of way.
Yeah, I saw him with Lil Bootsy on Mike Tyson's hot box with Mike Tyson, and next thing you know, he was dead. So my thing is, these guys, they are pawns, they are collateral damage in a war that a lot of us don't even understand. But Kanye broke it down. See, Kanye is undefeated like the internet. As far as he takes some L's, but he's undefeated. Look at Pete Davidson. Can't compete with no Kanye, man.
Well, they just broke
I got
up,
6 billion reasons why. But he broke it down on Drink Champs about the frequencies and all this stuff. It's like, you think about the reason why when you look at Kendrick Lamar, he's smart, he's an old soul, he sampled the old school cats, like the funk guys and the Marvin Gaye. Them guys had heart and love in their music. Curtis Mayfield could say the N-word and it don't come out as bad as some of these rappers do. I'm your pusher, man, all that stuff. They had love and soul. They could be dysfunctional in their personal lives, like David Ruffin. When you hear David Ruffin, that's heart and that's love and that's soul. And that's missing from the music right now. It's soulless music.
Soulless music.
Right. That's why they got sampled the old school cats, because Marvin Gaye, now they try to make Marvin Gaye a serial killer like Jack the Ripper now, but that's another story. Red Lipstick Alley, that BS. But you listen to Marvin, no matter how conflicted he was in his personal life, he put all that love, that tenderness in the music. And like Luther Vandross. I mean, come on. He'll take somebody else's song and make it his own.
When there's no one there to hold you tight. I'm sorry, I gotta finish.
No, but it was said when he died almost 20 years ago. But I'm saying Luther, man, was amazing because he'll take everybody else's song and make it his own song. That's how powerful he was.
Yeah, and you know, XXX, he said that he wasn't gonna live past 21.
Yeah.
And his mother and him had a good relationship, and they didn't because she had to kick him out sometimes. He would just fight people and record it, and that's how he went big, because he could fight. Like, he could really fight.
MMA guy. He was crazy, man. He was like
that
Tupac,
was
man.
wild,
He had the energy, man. He had the energy.
But he did have something about him that once you start researching him, it's like you like him, but you don't. It's like, I know I don't need to like this kid, but it's something about him that seemed redeeming. But
it's a guilty pleasure. Yeah, I think he was a good brother. I don't know him. He was conflicted, and he went through his demons, but he left a legacy behind. I know when Lil Wayne, because I guess he was a follower of Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne and him did some things, and that "Don't Cry" song was very powerful. Lil Wayne sampled his vocals, and you tell the man he was coming from a real place.
You know what? So when we go back to it, Lil Baby, I can respect the fact that he understands now that he shouldn't be using the N-word, because even people like Nipsey Hussle, who music I really love, it's every other word Nipsey was using the N-word.
He's not lyrical.
Can he not think? I was like, could he have not thought of any other word to rap with? Instead of the N-word. I don't get it. But to take this subject even farther, you guys gonna love this. I have a clip from Mike Tyson's podcast, Hot Boxing, and they take this N-word conversation to the next level. His guest on this show is none other than one of my childhood legends, Keenan, from the Keenan and Kel show. We all love Keenan, so here we go.
I'm so happy no one called me and said, stop that fucking nigga word, nigga. Sometimes you get the ADS, these people, man. Niggas not good no more.
No,
they gonna take niggas. I like
been.
that. They gonna take niggas from us now.
Oh yeah.
They getting ready to take niggas. I like niggas. Now that's something I like. The white man gave me, they gonna take it away. So how you gonna stop people saying the word nigga?
Yeah, that's true though.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a battle worth fighting, man, because that word has got the worst connotation.
It does.
And it's holding back a certain respectful outlook on this culture.
I don't feel held back. I feel ascended.
It's not holding you back.
That's the truth, though.
But
he's dead serious. Yeah.
I know it's definitely holding a
special being a
respect
nigga.
level.
I won't call him an Afro. I'm not an Afro-American. I'm a nigga.
Yeah, that doesn't work when you're trying to get a job.
Well, they know. Everybody know right now I'm a nigga. Anybody want to hire me? Anybody want to hire Mike Tyson for anything? I know. I'm fucking blowing billions. I am a nigga.
I love it.
Look, that's part one, okay. But Keenan, everybody was proud of him, because a lot of times when people talk with Mike Tyson, they get intimidated and they
Right,
just let him be right. But Mike Tyson, he wants to be the N-word, Ron. He wants to be the N-word. And I'm like, are we somebody to stop him wanting to be the N-word? Because there's some N-words out here.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to look it back, take it back to NAGA. Like KRS-One breaks it down. It's not what we think it is. Like the word black, a lot of things, it's all about what you answer to. I don't have no problem with somebody want to be what they want to be. I respect that. Because I don't believe in treating somebody like you want to be treated. If you really respect the person, you find out how they want to be treated, and then you decide you want to treat them like that. Because a lot of folks got low opinions and low self-esteem of who they are. So you might not want to treat them like the way they want to be treated. So what I'm saying with that is that word is only as powerful as you make it to be. It's like with Dick Gregory, his autobiography is called Nigga. And he said, every time somebody say that word, it means my book is selling. It's becoming a bestseller. But when you own something, it's like when somebody try to expose your past. When you own your past, they can't hurt you. When you own something that was meant to hurt you, you use it as your own tool for empowerment. That's how I feel about it. But my thing is, us as a people, we don't really have a true knowledge of ourselves anyway. Mm-hmm. Therein lies the problem. Because even look at the music, like I said, it was soulless music. Most of them great artists came through the church. Even Snoop Dogg was in his church choir. Mm-hmm. And you losing. I mean, Tupac, very musical, very lyrical. He had the Curtis Mayfield and Marvin Gaye touch. But you don't have that in rappers right now. Because you got to look at where they came out. What did Tupac say about thug life? The hell you give little infants, fuck everybody. This is a thug life generation. They got fucked by everybody.
This is the druggy generation.
I mean, yeah, but
the syrup and the syrup's kind of old now, but the meth and the pills, which is a white academic too. But this is a layered thing, because I don't feel like we should be using the N-word necessarily on each other, especially in front of white folks. Like if you were going to use it, I would use it with my homies and nobody even would hear us. But when I was in college, I had some black peers who gonna tell me that they don't care if white people say the N-word if they know that they cool. And I'm just like, a white person, I don't care. I don't care who you is. I don't care if I breastfed a white child like a mammy did back in the day. I don't want you calling me the N-word. I don't even want you calling me Negro. Okay. I don't want you even calling me, I barely want you to call me black. But I'm just being silly, but that don't sit right with me at all, but as much as I love Mike Tyson as one of my favorite champions, I guess if anybody has been a nigga, he has definitely been one. Let's go to part 2.
This is who I am.
To tell you that that's not the case at all. You are a brilliant man. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah, I'm that too. I'm that too.
No doubt.
I'm that too.
I think the misunderstanding of trying to reclaim something that is attached to such bullshit still to this day.
I'm not gonna go that route. I'm a nigga. What you doing is beautiful. I'll support you, but let me stay a nigga.
However, the continual usage like that is going to be a positive for the culture is the biggest misunderstanding in black culture right now.
I know, well, maybe it's not, but it hasn't. It's proven you wrong. You got white people saying that, and you got everybody. The word is bigger than you ever can conceive.
Yeah, but we're also the most hunted people on the planet because of this disrespect towards this culture. Like, we looked at as less than, and that word perpetuates that mindset, in my opinion.
So what you want us to be? You want us to be...
We
want us to be safe?
We warriors. Look at you, man. You the most fucking ferocious motherfucker that ever walked the planet.
You could be a warrior and not be ferocious. You could be a warrior of mind.
You can be all of that shit, but you are to be respected. And I feel like the usage of that word cuts into that.
I have a problem with it. I mean, I respect both of their points of views.
Well, if I was in front of Mike Tyson, he could be whatever the hell they want. I'm telling you that now. He could be me. Sure, Mike. Just take my identity. I don't give a damn.
I mean, both of them make valid points, but my thing is, our problem is we too concerned about what other people think about us instead of what we think about us. You will never get the 100% approval of anybody outside of yourself. If you can't even love yourself enough to claim who you are and stand on who you are and what you believe in, then nobody's going to respect you anyway. A lot of us want to be liked. My thing is, you shouldn't let white folks have that much control over who you are as a person. Nobody should have that much control over anybody in terms of it comes to self-determination. So I don't have no problem with, I had white folks say that stuff in front of me and stuff. It was weird. They call themselves that. Tom Hanks' son who's a wigger, I guess. But Tom Hanks might have an interesting background. You look at his hair and stuff, and look how he look. But his son was
now you know where Ron. You right. He may have a little Negro blood. You
right.
know,
Most of them
actor
do.
that came out recently who found out on that DNA show that he got black blood. I forgot his name, but you may be right.
Yeah, but
Tom,
look at
I
even
can see that.
Jackie Kennedy had a black background. Her daddy was called Blackjack for a reason. Blackjack Bouvier. So she got black in Humphrey Bogart, Clark Gable, tall, dark, and handsome. Was a guy named John Heyman who discovered Billie Holiday and Count Basie and Bob Dylan and Bruce Springsteen. Him and Jackie Kennedy got the Vanderbilts. Now all these folks got black blood in them anyway. Who ruled Europe for several centuries? Who gave Spain its cultural identity? Black folks from the Moors from Africa. So we everywhere.
We are everywhere, but you ain't finna. You try to. Oh no, I ain't even gonna go there.
No,
I'm about to say you ain't finna tell me Anderson Cooper pale ass is black.
Yeah, he black. Yeah, his mom was gonna marry Gordon Parks, the famous photographer and filmmaker.
I know Gordon Parks.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
but Gloria Vanderbilt, she was in love with Gordon Parks. But yeah, Anderson Cooper's albino.
Here they go with Abraham Lincoln was black.
Yeah,
he did look black though. Hell, he about look like my Uncle Nate. Now that I think about it, Abraham Lincoln.
You even look at Elvis, right? Elvis, he might be Melungian or whatever. Because you look at his mom. Elvis had a twin. And twin died, but Elvis don't look all the way white. I mean, people think. In Memphis, black folks love Elvis down here. My people love Elvis.
Elvis low key fine. I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, I be trying to figure out was he really racist, because when you look at Whitney Houston mama, she act like he was not racist. But sometimes white folks who got money and they work with black folks, they be nice to them. So I can't really.
Ghetto, though. He from the hood. I mean, he went to Humes High School in North
in
Memphis.
The ghetto.
In the projects. But Elvis, I know people that played touch football with Elvis back in the day, back in the 50s and stuff like that. And he brought Cadillacs for black people and stuff. I remember saying, but his favorite preacher was a black man in South Memphis named Dr. William Brewster, who wrote Move On Up a Little Higher, that Mahalia Jackson made a hit. But he used to go to his church on Sundays, listen to him preach and sing. So Elvis is not all white people racist. Racism don't have to do with hate. It's racism about privilege and access and leverage. To me, what
about the poor white folks who say, I live in a trailer, I'm poor, I ain't got no money, I'm not privileged? What about them, Ron?
They don't know how to use their privilege. Like, what Paul Mooney said.
That's
a poor way for white skin.
He said he hates to see a white homeless because you don't waste your color.
It's weird. So they could just dress up, right? They can clean themselves up and get a job. I got several degrees. A guy out the street that's homeless and white could get a job and clean up, right?
Oh, I love. Well, let me go to this comment first. Dee Jones says it's enough pale folks claim black. Maybe we can get our reparations. You right, because I still want my acres and I still take the mule. I don't know what folks be talking about, but I still want my reparations. And Nord Neal says Anderson Cooper's people come out of Mississippi, just like J. Edgar Hoover. He had black blood allegedly as well. A lot of those presidents had some black blood. I have recently saw an article about it. I can't remember all the names, but it was more than 5 presidents that they said had a lineage of black in there.
Yeah, somebody or Warren G. Harding, the one who was that women were able to vote for the first time back in 1920. They say he was black. Now they did some DNA, and from one of the relatives say he wasn't black. But what they say, mama's baby, daddy's maybe. See, when I look at my ancestry, it's kind of hard to trust the man's side. I look through the women's side. You don't know, they could be anybody. You know what I'm saying? Mama, great-great-grandma could be stepping out. You don't know who baby that really is.
Your grandma might have been a Rolling Stone.
You know what I'm saying? You don't know. Everybody looking different, all that. You look at paternity court, they let you know you can't trust your eyes all the time.
Talking about the word nigga, I just want to bring one up. Here go a nigga right there. What's her name? And you see I put Floozy right there.
Carolyn Bryant. There's a first
Carolyn Bryant.
Yeah, Carolyn Bryant or Carolyn Bryant Donham, whatever.
The woman who accused, well, she claiming now, Ron, that she didn't do it because they don't find the ass. We got Shabazz, the attorney, went around with some people to find her. It was knocking on homes and she was never there. But somehow they finally found this Floozy Carolyn Bryant, who's responsible for, telling her, what was it, her brother and somebody else in the neighborhood.
Her husband and her husband's brother, J.W.
Yes.
Malum.
And they came. Here she go right here. There she go looking old, and she got cancer,
Poor Carolyn.
and she looked like an old race. Look, her head still looked like how it's leaning in that before
Yeah.
photo from back in the day. And look at that beautiful boy. Emmett Till was a beautiful young man.
Yeah.
A
They messed up that pretty face though, didn't they?
Yes, they did. Ron, don't act shy now because you got the papers that you just put out. Give us a little summary on what you found out about Miss Bryant.
Well, she wrote her memoirs with her daughter-in-law back in 2008. And it came out. It wasn't supposed to come out till she died, but somebody leaked them, and I got a copy of it from a source. And I read it was 99 pages. I am more than a wolf whistle. That's the name of the manuscript. And the thing about it is, she keep on contradicting herself. Like she even get the day wrong or the date wrong when she met Emmett. She got it listed like as August 23rd when it was August 24th. She even get the dates of her husband dying. The first one who killed Emmett, Roy Bryant. She got his date wrong, the year he died, and all this other stuff. But the thing about it is, they have interviewed her over the years. You know, the FBI, other people, and even when she was on the stand, she kept on changing her story. Now, you know, Emmett's great uncle Mose Wright testified that he heard a light voice, louder than a man's, identify Emmett at his home. You know, that thing is weird because the incident between Carolyn and Emmett, it took them 4 days for them to get Emmett. So they never told his uncle anything. I promise you, had they told his uncle, the whole family would have left the same day from Mississippi.
So we know many families run right that had to move back in the day when they got in trouble like that.
Oh yeah, most definitely. People disappeared. See, people say, well, his uncle was a coward. He did everything he could know how to try to save his great nephew's life. But it was a thing that happened in Mississippi back in the 40s called the Otala County Massacre. This is the same county where Oprah Winfrey was born. Well, a whole family was wiped out by a white bootlegger because he said one of them snitched on him and sent him to prison. So they wiped out a whole family. So you just believe Emmett's family would have got wiped out that night or that morning. You never heard about Emmett Till because they all been buried secretly down in Mississippi. Took off the planet. So this is what I mean. The fact that he testified in court, pointing them out, that took bravery. And he had to leave for Chicago as well, too. But with the Carolyn Bryant thing, my problem is this. They say she's legally blind. They say she has cancer. She's in her 80s. Bill Cosby is legally blind. He had health issues. They still gave Bill Cosby those prison blues. And he survived 3 years. They try to kill him in prison with their package. You know, the C stuff. Not cancer, the other thing. But the thing about it is, white folks are crap. They'll protect their monsters and devils to the end of time. They'll let their devils and monsters down their deathbed, never spend one day in prison. And that's what they're doing with Carolyn Bryant. They knew where she was there for months. The Daily Mail, I think there's a paper in Britain or whatever.
It is. It's good.
They typed her down, right? They said she moved months before. That means she was tipped off. And they moved her to Kentucky. Like the Underground Railroad. They're always moving around because I heard that the last governor of Mississippi was actually her nephew through her first husband, allegedly. His last name was Bryant, the guy who was governor of Mississippi before this person, I believe. But white folks always protect their people. We throw our people on the bus, whether it be R.Kelly, Bill Cosby, even Mystical. You don't get none of us the benefit of that. We are willing to throw our people on the bus. Well, white folks will move their people around like Donham, like Paula Dean. They don't.
The Seventh Heaven show still on,
right.
even though the man actually said he actually was with the underage girl and then got in trouble again. But they play that all the time like it doesn't matter.
Woody Allen, all that stuff. His fans still showing, still people doing Woody Allen movies. So America is very much hypocritical. Even you talk about the Britney Griner thing, not get too far off. You just had a brother who died on August the 4th named Albert Woodfox, part of the Angola 3. He spent 42 years in solitary confinement in Angola down in Louisiana. So you can't talk about Russia and China when you're doing people like this here. Solitary confinement for 42 years, 23-hour lockdown for 42 years.
Let's talk about it, Ron. Let's talk about it because Britney Griner is all over the news, and I've saw people on social media bring up just what you just said now. They said, we worried about Britney Griner, but how many black men over here are hooked up for a dime bag of weed in these prisons? Exactly. And when are they going to be able to come back home and they right here in the US of A?
But y'all got Joe Biden, Jim Crow Biden in office. He helped create the policy and the atmosphere to lock up black men and black people for generations, to break up black families. And you rewarded him with the White House.
Yes, and
I think it
y'all
would
love
be
him.
they love him. There. Oh, we sick boss and like Uncle Steven from Django. Oh, Django, but you know, like even Carolyn Bryant, they sent her ass to Russia with a bag of weed on a one-way plane ride. Russia would lock her ass up.
Well, they may let her go free.
I don't
You
know.
never know. But I know one thing: if Trump was president, this would have never happened.
Nah, it would never got this far. Cause one thing about Trump, he know how to negotiate. He's a businessman. Cause he got people out that was guilty. You know, Lamar, the ball basketball player. He actually stole from that store in China.
The middle brother when he
The
stole
middle brother, right?
in China.
He actually stole
Yeah,
from that store in China. He should be in prison right now, but Trump got him out. He got out ASAP Rocky, who was guilty, from my understanding, doing what he did.
ASAP Rocky, who everybody like now, but he was acting like he wasn't even black before. Talking about
he was weird. He got that
with black folks. But everybody happy because Rihanna done had a baby with him. But that tell you the company you keep. Because if he don't want to be black, then hey.
Well, she was an island girl. You know, she's from Trinidad or whatever.
Oh, you want to talk about how them island folks do?
Bust the bus, Jamaican, you know.
Okay.
But you know, Trump did a lot of good things he don't get credit for. They still trying to get him not to be able to run in 2024. But but Biden don't care about black people.
And who the hell gonna vote for Biden? I saw on the news the other day, they said, is the president gonna run again? They were like, well, he's not talking about it right now, but he's probably will. And I'm thinking, like, who the hell gonna vote for him? I don't think Democrats even vote for him. He don't never know the answer to nothing. His people told him he can't answer that today. I mean, he really is Sleepy Joe.
He's sleepy. It's past his bedtime at 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's past his bedtime.
They got sativa weed named after him called Sleepy Joe.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. It makes sense. He's sleeping his way through this term and the next term. But I just think that when it comes down to it, it's up to the people to decide, because these people are not our leaders. You are the leader of your life. You got to make a decision to live your life, and you got to decide for yourself what you're going to do with yourself while you're here. Because politics is weird to me, because when you vote for somebody, they're not the leader. They represent your interests. See, whatever your interest is should be leading you to what you need to do in terms with these people, because the people that got power, a lot of times they don't vote. They just write checks that don't bounce. They create lobby groups and PACs and all this other stuff. It's not about voting, especially now if they're not counting your vote in a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where you're supposed to be counted.
Do you have any more to say on this Britney Griner situation? I saw her teammates the other day, that black girl that everybody thinks cute. I forgot her name, number 4. Mm-hmm. She was talking about it's hard to even get suited up for a game when your teammate is missing. Even though Britney is somebody y'all know from watching basketball, she's our teammate, she's our friend. It's hard to see her. And I told you guys, I met Britney when I worked at ESPN, and she came off very sweet. I watched her in college. You know, I was a fan. And I saw recently how much weed she had in what do you call those things she was smoking, in the vape, and it was like, really, it was like your little fingernail. It was that much weed in it, and she claimed she forgot it was in there, but I don't know.
The problem with Britney, I'm aiming to interrupt you. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
The problem is she acts like it looked like too much like a man now. She sound like a man. They're gonna treat you like a man. If she was more feminine, if she probably had some leniency. I'm just saying.
Well, they claim that she's gotten friendly with the guards around her cell, and if you look at her cell, it's very small. It looks even smaller than an American jail cell. I don't know if this is where they just hold her before she goes to court or what, but
oh Jesus,
I don't see a bed in there, a toilet, so maybe that's just a holding cell that they keep her in from time to time. Jesus. But my thing is she had played over in Russia for years. Why would you even play with Russia? First of all, somebody made this point. You can't even have weed in most of the states in America and fly with it. Only like California, maybe 2 or 3 other places. So why in the hell would you think you would get away from it in Russia? I don't even care if you were watching the news. You went to history class in the grade school. Your teachers taught you Russia ain't never been nobody to play with, first of all. So I don't even know why you would even try that mess over there.
It's sad, but like my problem is where's the white LGBTQIA whatever committee agenda mafia? Where are they at for Britney? Because like everybody want to point the fingers at black men, even black NBA players. What can they do? LeBron had to take back stuff he said about China.
Yeah,
They
I
not
saw that
free,
too. People comparing like LeBron and even put LeBron's salary up, saying that his salary is he makes more than the whole WNBA. Well, of course he does. And I used to be a person that would try to stand up for WNBA, but they're not making the money. They don't have the viewership. And these companies who promote sports, they aren't promoting the WNBA. So if you want to get mad at somebody, get mad at those people who got the money and who have the power to put them out there in the forefront. But they trying to make it a NBA player versus a WNBA player thing. Even though we weren't really talking about this part, but you just reminded me of that, and it's like it's not fair.
Right.
You know, of course, women need rights, but if the money ain't there, what are they gonna get it out their ass?
Well, one thing can happen because we live in some strange times. LeBron said, "I'm gonna be a woman," and he joined the WNBA, and they'll change a lot of stuff. He become over as LeBron James as a woman, LeBronya James, whatever.
This big ass better not be something
But
about woman.
You get more viewerships though. People be curious, see how they play out. I mean, why not? I mean, we living in some strange times right now. I just, black masculinity in mainstream media is dead. There's no black masculine figures. I talk to people in the community and neighborhood. I said, name me one strong black man that you see in the mainstream media that's not in sports. They're not really masculine either, to be honest with you. And they say, I can't name nobody. Because I mean by a black strong man presence, like, do you know any black man that's masculine, that's empowered to set policy?
That can set policy?
Yeah, like in DC, any powerful black man with a black backbone. I'm a man, goddamn it. This is my vote, and this is how we gonna go. I don't know.
Yeah, I know people like that. You know one. We ain't gonna say his name, but
no, I'm talking about in the mainstream. I'm talking about like that's well known, famous.
I mean, at the top of my head, I would need some time to collect the
thoughts. They know it's no, because like you should be able to come. Who's the greatest basketball player? Michael Jordan, whatever, Kobe Bryant, whatever. Strong black man in mainstream politics. Crickets. There's none. And that's by design. That's from 50-something years ago. Look what we had 60 years ago. We had Adam Clayton Powell Jr., one of the most powerful congressmen in the country from Harlem. You had Thurgood Marshall, even in the courts. You had on the streets, you had Malcolm and Martin and Medgar and all these people. You don't have any strong black masculine man in mainstream America.
The only one that we keep seeing is that lawyer that nobody likes. Ben Crump. Everybody be like, oh, he ain't really doing nothing, but you see his face all the time. I just saw him yesterday on something. I mean,
he do what he can. That's why I got more respect after that documentary. He do what he can. He ain't the, you know what I'm saying? He ain't the ideal. He ain't like the matinee idol, the most articulate, but he gets the job done, whatever he does. I mean, he's like Draymond Green.
Yeah, like
he gets something done. He contributes.
Yeah, he all right. He looked up and was on a good team. He played good enough defense. It's gonna work out for him.
It's gonna work. He play his spot. He plays his position. He don't overplay it. He plays his position right. But I'm just saying, like, there is none. Like, even like James Baldwin's birthday was on August the 2nd, and somebody had this powerful picture of him and Medgar Evers. Medgar was behind him, and James Baldwin had the paper over. Medgar was over his shoulder, looking over his shoulder. Now, people say James Baldwin was gay. I don't know if he was gay. He was effeminate. Because I know Dick Gregory told me, I'm gonna keep on saying this because Dick Gregory did. I don't care. Dick Gregory said that James Baldwin wasn't gay. He knew James Baldwin personally. They did tours and stuff overseas. He said he was doing it to hustle white people. He was hustling white people. Now, also, I read Huey P. Newton's book Revolutionary Suicide, where him and Eldridge Cleaver went to James Baldwin's party at his home. Eldridge ripped hit him up style James Baldwin his book Soul on Ice. So he had a beef with James Baldwin, but Huey P. Newton claimed soon as they saw each other, Eldridge and James, they embraced in a tongue kiss. That's Eldridge Cleaver, Mr. Angry Black Man, locking lips with James Baldwin, but then Dick Gregory said he wasn't gay. Then James Baldwin had a British accent, but he's from Harlem, New York. What's that about? So everybody's playing a role. But James Baldwin reminded me of Michael Evans from Good Time because it's cute when the less threatening person say something that's radical. But if James Evans said what Michael Evans said, they would have killed him the first episode. That was James Baldwin's not a threat to white reproductivity. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, and you know what? I wish I would have brought this episode in this clip I had of what JJ said. I'll bring it in next show.
All right, somebody said Benny Thompson. Benny Thompson ain't crap, man. He a catfish from out of Mississippi. He need to be investigated why them black dudes be hanging from white folks' trees. for the last 20 years. You need to find out what happened to those 1,500 black GIs that disappeared from Camp Van Dorn during World War II. They said it was like some white military police that killed about 1,500 black GIs in World War II down in Camp Van Dorn, southern Mississippi, and buried them in a man-made lake, supposedly. And you know the history about man-made lakes in this country, drowned towns, Lake Lanier.
You won't catch my ass out there.
Yeah, I know. Send Carolyn Bryant out there for a swim, though.
Send your enemy out there to go down by the lake. Look, bro, while we talking about things that have disappeared, the Georgia Guidestones, which I just learned about a year ago. Now somebody has destroyed them, and I had a photo of the destruction, but I guess I didn't bring it up. But anyway, these beautiful stones are in Georgia, and people say that they tell a message. They don't know who put them there, but they give a message about what we need to do in this life. And all of a sudden, they have been destroyed, Ron. And you recently got a chance to go visit them. And we know you're the historical guy. So go ahead and give us a little bit about these Georgia Guidestones and the big deal about them.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting because they got blown up allegedly. They knocked them down completely. That's several weeks ago. And the funny thing about it is when I went out there, just back in May of 2018, I just decided to go there because I was on my way to Montgomery. And I said, someone told me to go down to the Georgia Guidestones. They far away from Atlanta. So I did that. And I saw like it's in the middle of a cow pasture. It's like weird. There's this big thing in the middle of a cow pasture out in Georgia, nowhere Georgia. They had a security camera across the street. I don't know if it was working or not, or it was like a deterrent. They had vandalism on the stones, but it was interesting because people started going there, like, you know, white people, a lot of groups of white people. And I met this woman from England. Her name was Nikki, but I call her Illuminati Nikki. She was actually doing a cross-country drive from San Francisco to New York City. So on her way across the country, she was stopping at historic landmarks and whatnot. And so I just so happened to be there the same day she was. And we took pictures and stuff like that. But the statue's monument was put there back in March of 1980. It was the secret group that commissioned a local place to do the stones, and they placed them there back in March of 1980. It's basically like the 10 commandments for the new world order, because they got like the commandments written in several different languages, and it tell you how to live in a world with just 500 million people. So they tell me how they're going to depopulate the world, reduces to 500 million people, and they gave you the commandments on how to live in a world like that. And like you look at what's going on now, where we at, you know, think about the pandemics and the other stuff going on the planet right now.
Because I'm thinking whoever destroyed this, is it coming up what they were trying to warn us about? It must be happening now. Because it's just like, how you told me off cam that they have cameras and everything here. So how don't they know who went and destroyed this?
I mean, it's always an inside job. This is America. Everything's an inside job. It's never no outside threat. It's always inside. So I guess they blew it up because mission is really accomplished. I mean, this Agenda 21 era we living in. All the stuff they doing, so much stuff going on. Like you said, the world time is going by faster now. They got the CERN thing. They opened the vortexes. They got UFOs and alien disclosures coming up and all types of weird freaking.
Chris Brown saying here alien is a video.
He might be
basketball, and people saying that they saw his fingers extend.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, and then Beyonce has a song called Alien Superstar. So I'm like, why are they? It's like they take on something. It's like the celebrities almost try to make stuff seem like a conspiracy theory. They hear one person say something about aliens and hear a bunch of them. I don't know if that's done on purpose or are they just trying to tell us something or what's going on.
Well, you know, it's a thing that the Dwight Eisenhower, the president back in the 50s, he met with this alien from outer space named Valiant Thor. Y'all should look up Valiant Thor. And he visited with Eisenhower. They made a deal.
Yeah, I heard
about
that.
Even one of his descendants believe that it's true. It may be true because even Jim Forrestal, the first Secretary of Defense, he got killed at the naval base, Bethesda Hospital back in the 40s, late 40s. But they say he was part of this group called Majestic 12. That, you know, this is after Roswell happened about 75 years ago, that they knew about these aliens and technology. I mean, so many stories. It might be some truth to a lot of this stuff because even a lie has truth in it because it couldn't exist. It's like even being an atheist, atheism is a religion, believe it or not.
But they say a lot of the symbolism in the Bible of circle spinning was really spaceships, and I'm not
It
gonna
could
go
be
deep into it
Ezekiel
because I need
wheels
to
and all
go
this
and
stuff.
read those passages. But that's what
Yeah.
I heard when I started researching these celebrities talking about aliens and all this alien mess. But
You know,
obviously,
Nikola Tesla. No, Tesla, the scientist, he said he will communicate with aliens.
I believe
Elon
that.
Musk named his company Tesla, right? And he's trying to go to Mars and all these other places.
Dealing with all that frequency and stuff like that, you never know what he tapped into. It's funny because I recently researched him too because it was a documentary about him as well. You know, you got to really get out here and learn about these folks.
Yeah.
I hate to stop our intelligent conversation to go on something so petty, but I got to talk about something, Ron, that we missed a couple of weeks ago because, you know, as a Christian myself, and you can be whatever you are, it's people always trying to find something to say bad about the religion or whatever. But just let's take religion out of it. If you just want to believe in God, it's like some people just give things a bad look and make other people turn away from it. And what I'm getting to is gospel artist Kim Burrell. I could not have done this show without bringing her up. Here's a picture of her right here. She's been singing for a long time. I'm not gonna act like I follow her career because I have not. I do know that she was I don't know if I want to say best friends, but really good friends with Whitney Houston. And you know, so that's a fact there. But you know, recently she made the headlines because I don't know if she caught herself having a sense of humor, but it was off-putting to a lot of people when she got up and spoke at a church service. So I'm going to take you to the first video here and we'll come back to discuss it.
Find you some value. You know, sometimes before we get friends, we have to do an interview. How long have you been broke? How many times have you changed your name on your light bill? How many of your bills in your little cousin's name? Do you live in a trailer home or a house? You know, you understand. And it's not about status or material things. It's just about choices. You know, life is different now. And, you know, we are at church. Thank God we're here. Those of us who are walking by faith without a mask and no vaccine. And so we honor the Lord. God is good. I respect all of the men of God here and respect you. Can y'all clap so I don't feel strange right about now? Hopefully we'll get a chance to meet each other when y'all invite me to come to your church. I'm not as expensive as I seem.
You know, the laughter's a little off, you know, a little a little laugh there, a little chuckle here. But I don't know. She just seems like she's full of herself to me. And, you know, she's judging people off appearances. And don't get me wrong, as a Christian as well, you're supposed to look your Sunday best. You know, God didn't say show up and look bad or anything. But to talk about people because they live in a trailer home or whatever, a mobile home, I mean, that's crazy to me. She hasn't always been somebody who's been on this pedestal or been famous. So, you know, who the hell is she? You know, a lot of people being petty, they threw this old picture of her up. And I'm not saying she looks a certain way, but it's a definite climb from looking like this to looking like this. So my point is that everybody has to start out somewhere. And sometimes God will put you through a humble phase and humble you when you have a side to you like this lady. But let's go to part 2 and it gets even uglier.
And so, I don't know, maybe you got a little left over from your PPP loan. Prayer, praise, and power. You understand? Amen. Isn't the Lord great? Amen. Amen. And so, you know, I like coming here because the ground is already tilled with great personality like Dr. Karn. Because one thing I love about him, he's deep in the word, but he knows how to have great humanity. And most don't understand his personality because he is truth personified. And he tells the type of truth that makes most uncomfortable. Because who likes to be told you're just ugly? No one likes to be told that. You know, especially when they have realized it. All right. Most don't get offended until they know the bad thing about themselves. And then somebody else recognizes and says, oh, I saw the ugly too. I just wanted to let you know. So anyway, y'all get that later. God is great. All of you are beautiful. I haven't chosen anyone to be ugly yet. God is good. God is great. You all look great. Most of you have on hats covering most of that anyway. Here's to you. I have a great personality. Okay, I'm going to sing. I'm going to sing. Daily I shall.
She on some good stuff, man. I don't know what she's smoking on. Whatever she doing.
You know how many times I watched the internet? Daily I shall. that lady with the hat was like adjusting her hat. Like, is this bitch calling me ugly? Like,
I mean, she said she was drunk or high or something. I don't know.
That's her personality.
You know, they tried to counsel her a couple years ago. I remember, like, you know, she got counseled for allegedly being homophobic. I didn't agree with how they did her.
On the Ellen DeGeneres, she was supposed to be making an appearance on the Ellen DeGeneres show, and Ellen ended up, you know, not wanting her to come on. So, but yeah, and you know, I'm a blunt person myself, but I think if she would have said what she said in a different manner, she said it so harsh, and you know, you have to put some empathy in there, and I don't know, telling people you got on hats to cover up the ugly. I mean, what kind of things that to say in church? Nobody from the pulpit tapped her. The preacher didn't say nothing. The choir director didn't just start up a cue and just start the music or nothing. The saints didn't come marching in. Nothing. Come on, man.
I don't know. I mean, I just after Kevin Samuels, I think there's a mild how she put it to me. I didn't. I don't have no problem with what she said. To be honest with you, I'm not saying people should have a thicker skin, but I mean, I think they knew what they was getting when they got it. I don't know what the function was, or what was the context of the function. I mean, what was they doing, like a type of concert, or?
I don't know what they were doing. I guess so, because she brought up her pay, which was kind of tasteless. But I just feel like certain jobs, certain occupations, certain positions require a little bit more dignity and respect on how you carry yourself. And she's somebody who claims to be anointed. And when you're a pastor as well, I don't know if she's one, but just the fact that it was pastors there, you know, you're supposed to take your position serious, because it's a position of authority. And to me, if we got people making a mockery of it, that's a bad thing. So yeah, you can have your freedom of speech, you know, but in some sectors, in some places, you should have decorum, and you should know how to carry yourself. And I think that with people already looking down, we're not asking anybody to be perfect, but she's a grown woman. She's been around the block more than a few times. She should know how to carry herself, and you should, if you're gonna inject some humor, I think that she could have did it in a better, tasteful way. I think a lot of her things that she said was just tasteless. But you know what? Let's go to a video of her at another church trying to make up, or trying to she went back and kind of made a statement about the video we just saw right here. And this will kind of show you how she is as a person.
Y'all so pretty. Is that better? Tell somebody God.
Did you get it? She said, y'all so pretty. So she trying to say I called y'all ugly last time. So, I mean, she kind of petty.
I mean, I don't have no problem. I mean, it's like I think she's trying to do her Don Rickles impersonation or something like that. Ain't nobody to get on the stage and slap her then, you know.
Do you, but were you a church going person at any point of your life?
Yeah, I mean, I was forced to go to church when I was a kid.
You felt like you were forced?
Yeah, I know I was forced to go to church. My grandma, I had no choice. I had to go. But as I got older, I stopped going. But my thing is, I mean, Kim Burrell, was it Burrell or Burrell?
Yeah.
She's been through a lot. I mean, because they tried to counsel her, like I said, several years ago. They tried to destroy her, and she's still standing. And that's a testament to her resiliency, and also the fact that she has a talent that people want to hear. They're willing to put up with the insults. I mean, if you got something that people want, they got to be willing to put up with you. And I think she's just being honestly herself. And I don't have no problem with her being who she is, because you know what you're getting. If you don't know what you're getting with Kim, you should know. So the fact that people keep on inviting her to these functions and paying her, she knows her audience.
I want to thank everybody who's joining us right now. Go ahead and hit that likes button, that thumb up. Go ahead and share and all that. And thank you for joining the live chat. So we still on Kim Burrell because I didn't get to talk about it because of my hiatus. But I even did further research run to give y'all a little backstory to Kim Burrell and how she acts. You ever heard of that show Sunday Best that came on BET, the gospel competition show? Well, I'm going to take y'all back to a clip on that show and it'll give you some more details. So this is clip number 1 and here we go. Okay, brother used his rent money. Now I can very much sympathize with that because that was rude as hell for them to be laughing like that. At least try to hold the chuckles in. I'm seeing by your face, Run, you still don't give a damn.
No, I don't give a damn. It's tough enough. I mean, I hate to hear. Look, she like a cross between Simon Cowell and Kevin Samuels.
Okay.
Simon Cowell say stuff, and he probably can't even sing like anybody, but people take it seriously because, like, you want to hear. This is either I think people got to toughen up. You want something in life, the things that are worth having, you got to fight and work for them. And why should he get the kiss on the ring when he do like an audition and he had to spend his rent money and all? So what? I mean, people are struggling every day trying to make their dreams a reality. If you're gonna let Kim Burrell and no other people get to him like that, then he don't deserve to be a great gospel singer.
But Ron, we all got to start somewhere, but that don't mean that I got to tolerate disrespect because at the smallest level, it's like you can respect somebody until you disrespect me. And it's a way to do things. But I get what you're saying. You do have to have tough skin. But I don't know. Let's go to part 2 and then we'll come back.
If I told the truth, I made my decision while you were singing. And the laughter was not toward you, okay? You had the attention of the person who was talking to you. That's where your attention should have been.
It was.
And she tried
Kimberly, I've been stopped liking you since last year when you told me knowing you wasn't even listening.
You know
Kera, I love you, Donham. People get nervous and stuff, but I'm letting y'all know I'm Dennis Christopher Brigham, and I'm going to be somebody, and this not going to stop me.
Dennis, hold on. I understand you're upset.
But y'all, that's disrespectful.
Don't do it like this. Because nobody was disrespecting you. We're laughing about ourselves.
We have relationships.
I understand that you're nervous. Listen to me.
We all need to take care of that for real. Kera, I love you. You are my number 1 singer. From the safest place, I watched you grow up.
I'm trying to talk to you.
You are a beautiful singer. And thank you so much, Yolanda. I ain't got to hear nothing else because y'all are so rude and disrespectful. Somebody understand what I'm saying. Y'all have a blessed day. I love you, Kera. Remember my face.
He a mass shooter.
I ain't gotta hear nothing else.
That man come back with a gun and shoot up everybody. That's what he on some other stuff. That's some mental stuff going on with him.
I got the details. He came back later and apologized, but I don't feel like he was wrong. I mean, I'm glad he spoke up. A lot of people wouldn't have spoken up. I like that. He wasn't disrespectful per se. He just said, "Look, I think that was rude. I spent my money to come down here. Hey."
Yeah, I mean, he came a second time. That's commendable, actually. He has resiliency, but they were kind of like, you laughing like that. That's not professional. They can't justify that, but at the same time, don't let them define who you are. You define yourself on your terms, and he gotta be comfortable in his own skin to put out what he's. Look, they say Tupac ain't lyrical. You got folks saying Tupac ain't lyrical. Tupac is lyrical. Okay, you got folks that believe that Louis Armstrong couldn't sing. Louis Armstrong could and can sing. Thelonious Monk could play a piano. It's not all about your confidence and who you are and standing on your truth. If you're an artist, you got to be authentically true to you. And that's how you make your contribution. You got to be you. You can't be Michael Jordan. You got to be the best version of you. So, I mean, with him, he can't let Kim Burrell laugh and being nonchalant and disrespectful get the best way. Look, Charlie Parker, one of the greatest musicians who ever lived, he got cymbals thrown at his feet to get the hell off the stage. In Kansas City back in the 30s. And what he did, instead of him saying, I'm going to prove it to y'all, I'm going to prove it to myself, the man spent 4 years practicing his saxophone for 11 to 15 hours a day.
Damn, I wish I had that much dedication.
But he ain't had no Pornhub back then. He had Pornhub, he was practicing on the other horn. He ain't had that many distractions back in the 30s. I mean, he up there, ain't no internet or no TV or nothing. But I mean, the fact that he did that, him and Michael Jackson share the same birthday of August the 29th. Michael Jackson and Virgo. They crazy. They OCD when it comes to perfection. Beyonce's a Virgo.
James Brown, you messed somebody in the band missed a note starting all the way over, and he gonna find you too.
That's right. But I mean, they want some. They driven. And James Brown didn't have the world's greatest voice, but without James Brown, there is no hip hop. There's no rap.
There's
He's
no
the
Michael
foundation
Jackson.
of that. But what is a great voice though? It's all subjective. You know what I'm saying? Like Otis Redding didn't have the world's greatest range, but Otis Redding was a hell of a singer because he had the
From
feeling,
Macon,
had the
Georgia,
soul.
my hometown.
From
Macon,
Macon, Georgia, right? So I mean, like, it's what you do, what God gave you. That what makes you the great. It's not what. There's a lot of people I know that's very talented. They're not doing anything with their talents.
Well, we all know people like that.
Yeah, but then you got folks that got a little bit of talent. What they do, they got a work ethic. Like Will Smith said, you might have more talent than me, but you ain't gonna outwork me.
And you know what always reminds me of that is when you occasionally see a video of a handicapped person doing something spectacular. Like it was a video that was trending a while back where this black girl who she didn't have any arms.
Okay.
And she was using her feet to drive, but she was showing us how she did. And then some people in the comments were like, she drive better than me to get out the driveway, you know?
Right.
And it's like, when you see stuff like that, it reminds you, like, I got all my limbs and I'm pretty healthy, you know, despite a few things. I could really be putting in a lot more effort and work. So, you know, shouts out to those people that sometimes don't have everything health-wise, but they still go out there and inspire us to do even better. And since now we're talking about Health Run, you see Sharon Pratt, who's one of the not admin, but one of the what do you call it? One of the moderators for Kera Day's talk show. You know, she said that she had me in her prayers because I was gone for a while, and I really appreciate all of you. You can show your appreciation by liking this video, everyone. And also, you know, it's just life. You know, I had some business to take care of, and also my kitty of, let me take this off, but my kitty of 14 years, Blackjack, I made this little poster. Blackjack, he passed away on July the 15th. He had cancer, and you know, I miss him so much. He was, you know, sometimes he would try to get on camera and make noise that y'all wouldn't hear while I was doing the show, and I have to, you know, kick him with my foot to tell him to go on, and you know, but he was my buddy. He kept me going a lot of the times, and I miss him. And I'm bringing him up not just to share that with you guys, but before I get into this, the reason why I want to bring it up again is that, you know, the company Chewy, where I ordered a lot of his food and pet toys, they were so kind. I told them that my cat had passed away and that I wouldn't be needing my auto ships anymore. And the customer service representative, she sent me out flowers on behalf of her and the company. And I just thought that was so sweet, because I never had a company do anything like that. I didn't even have a human send me in the flowers. So, you know, a lot of times, especially black folks, they be like, okay, it's a cat, whatever. But that cat meant so much to me. I mean, he moved to 3 different states with me, you know, and just kept me, you know, just was my buddy. So I ain't got no shame in that. I'm breaking down stereotypes, black lady, black cat lady, and I loved it, baby. And he was black. Sometimes I joked with him and told him he was mixed because he got the little white in there, but he was definitely black, and he was definitely that word that Mike Tyson want to be called. He was definitely all that.
Well, that's the power of Blackjack. Yeah.
Blackjack, I think you met him before, Ron.
Yeah, I met him one time. He was very interested. I'm trying to eat my pork chops. He's trying to jump in my lap. I just trying to get the pork chops too. That was some good pork chops, by the way. That was some good stuff. He's like a very kind cat, though. I'm sorry for your loss.
You couldn't bring no food around, that's for sure, because he'll knock it out your hand. But, you know, it got me thinking, cancer is such a rough illness. Cancer, it just takes. It gives nothing. It just takes everything from people. Yeah. I mean, it's just like Blackjack. I was out of town on business. I came back. He was small, and he was he got so small in just 1 week and didn't want to eat. And it just made me remember how devastating of an illness that cancer is. And, you know, also, you know, I wish I could be more of an advocate for this, but the vet and pet bills is just so high. People who really love their pets, you can't even afford to get the help they need. Thank God I was able to get help and have what I needed to, you know, put my pet down, which could be a difficult decision, but I didn't want to see him in pain. Right. But not only just vet bills, but, you know, people are complaining because it's inflation right now. And I've seen news stories about people having to decide whether they can live or live. They can't afford their prescription medicines and run. I know I didn't take a breath between all that because I got passionate, but when I say live or live, it's really people out here trying to say to themselves, am I gonna get groceries this week, or am I gonna take that medicine that I need? You know, people have heart medication, they need vitamins, and they can't afford it all, so they're having to eliminate the least needed medication. We are in a bad cycle here in this country with healthcare for all the old people that's suffering and can't get their disability or get the health care they need. Even, I mean, and this is started with even the animals. I mean, this is just, we need better ways to be able to have affordable health care. It really bothers me that this is not something that people talk about more, because we're going to see this get even worse. I mean, you go in the grocery stores right now, food is so high. Run food. I saw bacon for like $1 million the other day. I said, by the time I buy this bacon, I've been caught me a hog out in the wild and cut them up my damn self. I mean, bacon, it's like the price of gasoline. It's too high.
Yeah, it is.
How are people gonna say, Ron, have you been to the grocery store lately?
I've been to the grocery store. I've been looking. I ain't been buying. Been looking at stuff I want and been taking pictures of it with my phone, but you know
it's bad when you got a window shop at the damn grocery store.
Right. I'm thinking about the eggs. I ain't getting the eggs. Right.
Ron, what you do this past weekend? I was at the grocery store just looking around, dreaming about how them chicken wings taste.
I know that's right, man. It's just, but you know, you think about how it's going to be next year around this time. I mean, we talked about the Georgia Guidestones. They really trying to get rid of people. Especially
they've been trying to get rid of folks.
Yeah. But they accelerating it now because they trying to shut down the country again. I just can't, you know.
Ron, have you checked your hands for the monkeypox? That is affect me and more? It's gross.
Yeah, but you know, it's we just lab rats and guinea pigs for the New World Order. To be honest with you, we've been sold out generations ago, and it's just catching up with us now.
It's catching up with us now. And speaking of stuff like this, ex-Black Panther 75 died after 43 years of solitary confinement. Ron, you have his name on you. What's his brother's name?
Albert Woodfox. He was part of the Angola 3.
Yes, and going to prison is one thing, but 43 years in solitary confinement without being driven crazy, Ron?
Well, I know I interviewed one in Angola 3. I believe his name was Robert King. He got out earlier than everyone else. He got out, I think, in 2001. He spent like 20-something years, almost 30 years in solitary confinement. When I interviewed him, I asked him, so what kept you from going crazy? He said, what make you think I'm not crazy? you know, the thing about it is, it was sad. Right. This is like, America got 25% of the world's prison population. We got more prisons in America than they do in Russia and China, anywhere else. And the thing about it is, them guys, the reason why they put them in prison, they were Black Panthers, but they were stopping prison rape. They were stopping them being raped in prison down in Angola and Louisiana. And they were set up, they said they killed this correctional officer. Even the widow of the correctional officer, they don't believe they did it, from my understanding. And there was no evidence connected them to the crime of the murder of the correctional officer. But what they did, they were organizing the prisons, they were politicizing the prisoners down there. And so they had to be separated from the general population.
It's a lot of, you can't even really think about all the innocent people that's sitting in prison or the political fighters who should really be out.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll never truly know who doesn't deserve to be in there most of the time. It's a sad situation.
But think about how many killer cops that we had that killed people. How many of them ever got sent to prison, let alone to the death penalty on death row? I can only name one. This happened back in the early 20th century. This guy named Lieutenant Charles Becker out of the NYPD. He ran vice in the Tenderloin district back in the early days of the 20th century. And they accused him of ordering the execution of a Jewish gangster named Herman Rosenthal. And allegedly he did it. I don't know if he really did it, because they used these criminals to say he did it. They said that he hired them to kill this guy, these Jewish and Italian gangsters. And one of them recanted before he got electrocuted in Sing Sing, saying that he had nothing to do with it. But the prosecutor was running for governor of New York. His name was Charles Whitman. And so you had the media that was very propagandized against him, very biased towards him. So he couldn't even get a fair trial at all, a fair hearing. And so when the guy became governor, he had to beg the same dude that sent him to prison, to the death chair, for his life. He was governor at that point, and he didn't get it, so they killed him in the chair by July 30th, 1915 in Sing Sing. It took him about 9 minutes to kill him because they electrocuted him 3 times. He couldn't die. 2,000 votes 3 times. He was a big guy. He had big hands. He was a big dude, but highly intelligent. But his son ended up being a top academician in his field, which is interesting. But I don't know, that's the only cop that ever went to the chair for things he did on the job. That's Charles Becker. Look him up, Charles Becker.
And we know that shouldn't probably be the only one for them.
It's not been the only one, but even then, it's questionable if he was guilty or not. He did a lot of horrible things. It's like with Tookie Williams when Schwarzenegger said, "I want to give you clemency, but you got to confess to this." He said, "I did a lot of horrible things, but the things I got convicted for death, I didn't do." So he did. He didn't say he never killed it or brutalized anybody. He just said, "What y'all convicted me on, I can't say I did this."
That's like the O.J. Simpson when the reverse, when they couldn't get him on the murder, his family made sure they got him stealing that mobilia,
lawsuit,
which was his anyway. But it's just they'll flip if they want you in there, they'll find a way to get your black ass in there.
Football cards back eventually, right? It's like with Bill Cosby. You look at Alex Jones, they awarded those people like $45 million in punitive damages. They ain't award that lady nothing in punitive damage against Bill Cosby.
Oh yeah, I got it right here for you. Jury awards parents of Sandy Hook victim more than $45 million in punitive damages in Alex Jones defamation case. Excuse me. Ron, you want to go deeper about this issue because I know it's been on your mind.
Well, Alex Jones is interesting. Like he's one of the leading conspiracy theorists for the last 20 years. He got his InfoWars platform, very powerful platform out in Austin, Texas. But he started on public access TV. Because he got his break covering the Waco situation from the 90s, David Koresh and the Branch Davidians who were killed allegedly by the government, by the FBI, allegedly. But he got to start there. And then he just took off and became real good friends with President Trump, helped him get elected in 2016 through his media operation. Also, the Sandy Hook thing happened in December 2012, I believe, one of the worst mass shootings in history. I think the second worst of all time. And he said it was a hoax. It was like a false flag. False flag don't mean nothing happened. It means something happened, but it was orchestrated. It wasn't necessarily organic, or it was actually orchestrated for bigger ends. You know what I'm saying? If the means justify the ends, So he was saying that the government helped facilitate that. Now, from my understanding, he wasn't saying that nobody didn't die. He was saying the government helped facilitate that. But by him doing that, he doubled down, not really clarifying or just going the wrong way on this situation. It cost him because he became the first person to really get canceled. If you think about they canceled Minister Farrakhan, it was Alex Jones they went after first. He got deplatformed off of YouTube, off of all these different Facebook, out all these different platforms. So he was the first test run. And now they're trying to finally finish the job out with this suit.
It says he'll owe a total of nearly $50 million to the parents.
Now the people say he's worth almost anywhere between like $135 million to $200-something million.
Whew, that's a nice little change in the
yeah, but he didn't show up. He was arrogant. He didn't show up for his court dates either. So he was like arrogant. I don't know, he was grandstanding. Also, he was involved in the January 6th stuff too. So he might have some more lawsuits. They're trying to break him. They're trying to break freedom of speech and just being able to think freely for yourself.
Well, before we get out of here, we got one more topic here, and we got a new movie that's on everybody's mind with James Franco playing Castro, which has people in an uproar. You will probably have to help me with this actor's name, but he's been criticized by
John Leguizamo.
Yeah, John Leguizamo, that's his name.
He's a very talented guy. Yeah,
because they feel like a Latino person should be playing Castro because he was Latino. Now this movie will actually be about Castro's illegitimate daughter. who was a critic of his reign in Cuba before she left the country in 1993. So that's what the script is about.
Okay.
Franco starts opposite Anna Valor. I should have did a name check. Valor something. But it's funny because she's playing his daughter, whose name is Alina, and it's kind of similar to her name, Anna. Alina. And so the movie is based on the daughter, not necessarily Castro, but still it got people thinking, why can't they just cast the same race for the person that the person's playing? Ron, what do you think about that? Do you think it matters if these are actors and they acting, and acting means that it's imagination and it's make-believe sort of, but this is a true story. So does it need to be true that we need the same race of person to play who they're playing?
No, it's not true, because I was thinking about John Wayne played Genghis Khan back in the day, and Paul Mooney, not the comedian but the actor from back in the day, he played a Chinese Asian person in The Good Earth. I mean, it's acting, it's fantasy. You know what I'm saying? Like James Franco actually looked like he could pull it off. Be honest with you. And Castro, go ahead.
They said that he was picked. He was backed by the real life Fernandez, who was participating in the film as an on-set creative. So he was picked by the family. But I mean, I don't know, because when it comes to black people being portrayed, I definitely don't want a white person. What was that? They said that Meryl Streep was going to play Harriet Tubman. Yeah. Wouldn't you be offended?
No, I mean, I don't. It's like when Robert Downey Jr. played a blackface in Tropic Thunder. I thought it was.
I didn't like that.
You didn't like that? I mean, it was hilarious.
I don't even get. And when people were laughing, I was like, I didn't find none of it funny. To me, it was more insulting. Like they think that shit funny. I don't like that at all. To be honest with you. I mean, it's some black people that don't like when people from England play African American people here or ADOS. They don't like that.
Well, but Denzel did play Steve Biko in Cry of Freedom. I think Steve Biko was South African, and he played him in convincingly in Cry of Freedom. That was a good movie. He had Morgan Freeman play Nelson Mandela in the Clint Eastwood soccer movie, and he's from Mississippi. He ain't from South Africa, but hell, it's acting. At the end of the day, is like. My thing, I get peeved when they get. I mean, you look at Denzel. Denzel didn't look like Malcolm per se, but he had his personality. He had his spirit, and the family was okay with it.
But he was black though.
And he was black, but Malcolm was like red though. Denzel ain't red like that.
But he ain't dark, and he can act his ass off though.
Right. So if you a great actor, don't make a difference, right? That's what I'm saying.
Well, somebody did bring up that how can John or Leguizamo say anything when he played a drag queen in that movie with Wesley Snipes?
Yeah, Wesley Snipes and what's his name? Patrick Swayze, Tu Wong Fu.
Yeah, Tu Wong Fu, and he also played Mario in Mario Brothers. But then somebody pointed out that Mario actually isn't Italian like everybody thinks. He's actually just an American from New York, which made me laugh because I thought his ass was Italian. But we got
what was his brother named Luigi? Come on, man, get out of here. He is Italian. He's a Bronx tale. He's from the Bronx. But Mario from the Bronx.
Exactly. So how you gonna play him then if you Latino and you playing an Italian?
Why don't they write their own movies? That's what I'm saying. Like, why don't you write movies where you cast your people in?
I guess the same way, the reason that we be complaining too. I mean, like we complain about not seeing enough historic stuff in our movies that is the truth. And we ask the same question because the Negroes with the money ain't producing it, or the studios
it don't make money though.
The studios don't want to put it out.
Well, a lot of times it doesn't make money. That's why they don't want to do those type. You look at.
No, Ron, they lying to you. They said Black Panther. No, they said Black Panther. They wasn't expecting that to make money because the Asian folks over there talking about they don't like watching black movies because all they see is thugs, which I don't know how because they get offended when all we see them as is nail techs. So it's like hypocritical to me for an Asian person to be like, oh, I didn't know that y'all wasn't thugs. Well, hell, don't complain when people just think you do toes then. If you don't have enough intelligence to say, well, these people may be different than what I see just because it's on damn TV. As smart as they are, they can't think that smart to see something different and know something different because they ain't seen it. I don't believe it. Hell, I ain't never seen my heart, but I know it's working because it's pumping and I'm still here talking.
Well, the thing about it is black people are some of the most dedicated movie goers on the planet. So we actually made Black Panther a cultural phenomenon. We always saving Hollywood because it was blaxploitation movies that saved Hollywood back in the 70s.
Well, then what you said ain't correct. Then it do sell. They want
Well,
to
I'm just saying, like,
sell.
we don't get behind movies that tell our truth. We got a trauma about. I ain't talking like 12 Years a Slave, which was based on a historical document, but I'm talking about, like, I remember when what's his name, John Singleton, rest in peace. He did Rosewood. That was a very powerful movie, and that was based on something that actually happened to us. But a lot of times we don't get behind those type of movies. Like even with this Emmett Till movie, it's gonna be interesting to see how much money it makes in the theaters.
Well, rest in peace, Emmett Till, and you know, it just been crazy. Thank you so much for joining me today, Ron. I think we hit a lot of good topics. I don't think is summer over yet? Because I still got
September.
Do I still got time to get me some more fish tacos out here? Cause they be bomb. Them crispy fish tacos. I had me a couple down in Atlanta. Put me some Tabasco sauce and had some coleslaw on there. Coleslaw. And then I had my cocktail to the side and the breeze of the sun. And I had my popsicle in the cocktail run. And it was just a beautiful situation.
Awesome. That sounds good. Yeah, you got enough time because like what, September 20th or 21st is first day of fall or something.
Okay.
It's going by fast though. I'm just knowing this is going by real fast.
Well, what you got coming up on your show next so people can check you out on the We Be All TV YouTube?
We all be. Yeah. I got Brandon T. Jackson coming over at 3:30. I had just talked to him. He said he's gonna do it, you know. So we'll talk about how you feel about Robert Downey Jr. and blackface and Tropic Thunder, hopefully, and among some other things. And I got some other things coming up too. I'm gonna try to get Miguel Nunez, you know, Juana Man.
I've tried to get him before, so I mean, he actually follows me on Instagram, but I don't know. He did an interview on IG Live, but I don't know what his deal about doing YouTube interviews. But good luck if you get him, send him this way.
I will. I want to hear from Juana Man about Britney Griner, right?
I'm not touching it.
But anyway, look, but yeah, I got some couple things. I don't know. I might hit the road. I might go to South Carolina soon, and might go down to Mississippi for the Emmett Till stuff. This, you know, the anniversary is coming up the end of the month, or who knows? So we'll see.
Yes, Neil, I was gonna talk about TD Jakes about the modern day woman, but from what I heard of it, I didn't see nothing wrong with TD Jakes said. We kind of hit on that earlier. You know, I mean, that's a layered conversation too. But it is a lot of women that be doing a lot of too much with the attitude. The attitudes are horrible, but there's a history of why some of these women are in pain and hurting. But it's just a lot of ignorance out here. But I do think, you know, I'm not a big TD Jakes person. I don't know all the things he said, but he said some good things. And with that, I have to say sometimes people pick and choose, just like when they read the Bible, things that they want to take from a message, but they don't hear the message in its whole entirety. And I think if people would have heard TD Jakes in his whole entirety, they wouldn't have took so much offense to what he said. But definitely, men and women definitely got their own issues. But a lot of us are being ignorant out here. And it goes back to even when Bill Cosby called people out. Ron brings it up all the time. In the pound cake, sometimes people go a little too far when they do it, but if you listen to what they're trying to say, it's always pretty much a good message in there. But nobody likes to be critiqued, and we have a problem being critiqued by our own people, but yet we don't have a problem like Mike Tyson being called the N-word. Guys, I want to thank y'all so much for joining me. Thank you for holding on with me, guys, and thank you for holding me down. If you want to listen to audio episodes, make sure you go to the Ebony Podcast Network. Still got CaraDangers.com, and me and Ron, we love y'all, and we're gonna see y'all next time. Thank you so much. Hit that thumbs up.